Now let's focus on the Democrats' new Medicare for All plan. Under this plan, the federal government would pay for health coverage for everybody. It would expand the Medicare program to younger Americans. It would replace Medicaid for the low-income and disabled, and it would replace most employer-sponsored coverage. I mean, this is draconian. Employers and private insurers could only provide supplemental coverage. Congressman Robert Woodall, Georgia Republican, on the House Budget Committee, joins us now. Sir, this is socialized medicine. It reminds me of the British healthcare system, totally socialized.
Stuart, that's all that it is. And they're stealing the good name of Medicare to try to hide that socialized medicine. Medicare is something you pay into your entire life so that it will be there when you need it in your later years. That's not at all what's being proposed today. It's socialized medicine, plain and simple.
But it will be very instructive as to who votes for it and whether it passes as we run up to 2020. Because it sounds to me like this medical plan is the main plank in their campaign platform for 2020. What say you?
That's exactly the main plank of the far left in the Democratic Party. I think you're going to see more and more moderate Democrats come out and oppose this because they see the nonsensical nature of it, just as you and I do. This is a more than $30 trillion program with absolutely no way to pay for it.
That is the price tag on it? It's $30 trillion when you socialize medicine to this degree?
It begins at $30 trillion and goes up from there.
But it would require massive tax increases, wouldn't it?
If you believe that we could even raise taxes that high. Today, we're raising more tax revenue than at any time in America's history, and we're still dealing with a $22 trillion debt and a rising deficit. This is not the time to socialize the American healthcare system, take away the finest healthcare system in the world.
Is that your line of attack? It just costs way, way too much?
Well, the truth is we've already seen a failed takeover of the American healthcare system. We can look at all those government mandates that made the healthcare system worse under the Affordable Care Act, not better, more expensive under the Affordable Care Act, not cheaper. So I think it's just bad policy to begin with. But even if it was good policy, we can't afford to pay for it.
I understood. I'm just surprised that they would go right out there with such a draconian plan. I mean, I am surprised at that. There doesn't seem to be any moderation among Democrats at all.
Stuart, behind closed doors, I hear that moderation on a regular basis. But Speaker Pelosi has never had to lead a group as far to the left as the group that she's trying to lead today. And right now, she's absolutely being drugged further and further and further. You know it's an interesting day on Capitol Hill when Nancy Pelosi begins to look like a moderate.
We hear that Joe Biden may be throwing his hat into the 2020 ring fairly soon, maybe very soon. What do you make of that? Because he would be a moderate, I guess.
By 2019 standards, I think that's right. And of course, he's a wonderful negotiator. He has wonderful relationships on Capitol Hill. As I look at some of the socialist philosophies that many of the other Democratic candidates are espousing, I think Joe Biden would be a welcome addition to what is a field that's running far, far to the left.
Congressman, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show today. I know it's a very busy day for you, but thanks for being here, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yes, sir.